Each week at this time, we like to check in and see what's going on in the Mid-Atlantic region. We have Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland. He joins us to give us an update on what's going on in that part of the country. And I know it's been fall harvest time, Ben, and I know they have had some struggles trying to get the harvest complete. I just wondered what the progress is like this week here.
Good morning, Marlin. Since we talked last Tuesday, it's been a really good harvest week. We've had above average temperatures. We've had a good stretch of dry weather. Had some farmers that had wrapped up corn. Full season beans had started into double crop beans, said moisture was good and they were ready for harvest. There's still some corn out there, but many have moved into double crop soybeans. And just there's a fellow told me yesterday, 2 days ago, can't remember shelling corn in a T-shirt the entire season, and that all changed. Wind and rain. It was 68 yesterday, beautiful sunny day, rain overnight. It is currently 35 here and windy, and that's the high for the day. So when wind's going to dry off the rain we had overnight, and they'll probably be back in the field this afternoon, tomorrow for sure, working on beans and some corn.
So are the guys having to shed their equipment for a while, or what's going on there with the remaining progress of harvest?
Yeah, they did, because there's a lot of, in fact, there's still talk that it's going to be snowing here by lunchtime, but no accumulation. So as I drove around northern Harford County this morning, making some stops of every combine I found that would fit in a shed was in, and then there were a few others. To the viewers, I sent some pictures in. Everybody's combines were parked. Again, it won't take long. We had a quarter inch at best now, unless this snow at lunchtime really surprises us. But they'll be back at it here pretty shortly, we think.
If you had to take a guess, if you had, let's say, a week of open weather, would they be able to get done?
A week of open weather would get us 90% done, yes. And they only curved that. As I circled on up into York County, I saw a little more corn standing and some beans. Looks like the beans were off. But I'd say a week of really good weather, boy, we'd be 90% plus in the bin.
Keeping our fingers crossed. All right, thank you for the update, Ben. Always good to hear from you. Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland. Now let's get you updated on our futures on the grains. Let's go to corn first in Chicago. Right now in the corn market, we're starting to firm up a little bit. December up 1.5 pennies at 3.74 3/4. Soybeans also showing a little bit of a firmer tone here. We have the January up 1.5 pennies at 9.18 1/2. Even though we had some redeliveries on soybeans, that nearby November is up 3 3/4. That's interesting. Looking at the wheat in Chicago, we have December now 2.5 higher at 5.08 1/4. Kansas City December wheat sharply higher today, 7.5 higher at 4.30 1/4. Minneapolis wheat is gaining 1.25 pennies right now. We'll come back in a moment and I'll get you updated on our livestock trade, and we will take a look at what's going on in the fat cattle market this past week with information from Ed Serwin right after this. Let's check out our futures on the cattle and hog markets as they stand right now here on a Tuesday. We'll go to live cattle in Chicago. Well, the tone is a little bit easier. We talked about this earlier in the broadcast that, for example, that February contract on live cattle, I believe that they got within about $0.50 or so of some highs that were made last spring. And right now they're kind of backing away from that a little bit. Currently, you have December live cattle quoted at $119.67. That would be down 20 cents on the day. But remember, this market does tend to throw a lot of head fakes in there. A lot of times it'll start out acting kind of weak in the knees, and then by the time you get to the end of the trading session, things look totally different. Will today be different or not? We'll have to wait and see. February currently down 20 cents right now. We're at 125.47. And the April contract down 3 cents at 126.92. So they're weaker, but not very much. I don't know if that's too much concern to traders or not today. But if you look at the feeder cattle market, now here it's a little different story. We have everything a little higher across the board. And you have the November feeders coming in there at 147.88. That's up 30 cents on the day. And you have January up 18 cents. We're at 147.30. The March contract now 30 higher at 147 even. And that is within about 25 cents of its low of the day, 40 cents from the high. Now let's switch over and take a look at what's going on in the lean hog market. Well, so far today on our lean hogs, we have the December contract now trading $1.60 higher at 64.90. Have they found support? This is interesting. We have February now $1.23 higher. It's now trading at 74.95, and it's come off of its earlier low this morning by 75 cents already. So we'll have to wait and see how this one performs through the day. The nearbys are leading the charge higher. The deferreds are higher, but just a little bit. All right, now to some fed cattle numbers from last week, according to Ed Serwin of CZ Cattle Market Analytics. He's based in Amarillo, Texas. Well, let's take a look at the 5-area basis as far as the cash sales last week. The volume, 99,098 head. That compares to 75,790 the week before. That was an increase of over 23,000 head. The formula volume, 250,464. That was up about 1,400 head from the previous week. The average live cash price, $114.60 last week. That was up $1.57 from the week before. And as far as the average cash carcass price, that came in there at $181.04 last week, and that was up $1.65. So your average formula price worked out to be $179.41, and that was an increase of $2.74 this past week. All right, now we also have the steer carcass weights on a national basis here, and this is what took place. The weights actually increased to 906 pounds. That is up 6 pounds from the week before and up about 11 pounds from last year. The choice and select spread, well, last week it averaged about 25.86, and the previous week 25.69. So a little bit of an increase there, but boy, when you compare to last year, it was only $16.48. And right now we're running about $9 above that. So, Janet, a big comparison to a year ago there.
All right. As always, Marlin, thanks for the rundown.